$1 billion in debt. $1 billion in debt. $1 billion in debt on a bunch of illegal immigrants.
They don't get to keep us out. They don't get to engineer the way to get us out.
A bunch of illegal immigrants stealing our money. Y'all stealing our money. You stealing. You stealing. You damn thieves. You thieves.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. This quick clip that I'm showing you right here is actually from another YouTube content creator called A Righteous Perspective. I'm going to leave a link in the description to this full video so you guys can go and check it out in its entirety and go on his channel and show him some love. If anybody doesn't remember, I put a video out last week, and this woman was in another one of the town hall meetings in Chicago, airing her grievances, okay? But obviously they're having another town hall meeting, and she's you know, giving them the business all over again and screaming out about how much debt Chicago's in because they've been giving it to the illegal migrants. And not only that, they're in the process of cutting more services in Chicago in order to allocate money that rightly belongs to the taxpayers of Chicago. Okay? And it just seems that no matter how many town hall meetings, no matter how many times the people in Chicago protest, nothing is being done. They have not moved the needle 1 inch. Okay? The officials in Chicago, the powers that be, they have not moved the needle 1 inch in order to fix this. What they want to do is just keep bringing it down. Okay? The next clip that I'm going to show you, I am very surprised. I've listened to a lot of the aldermans in Chicago at the town hall meetings. This video clip that came out that I'm going to show next from one of the aldermans, I mean, if I didn't know any better, in all honesty, okay, I would think that he was Republican, okay, because it's like, why is it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I listened to this man talking, I'm like, why is it that Brandon Johnson is the mayor and not a guy like this in Chicago, regardless if he's Democrat, Republican? Why do we watch so many videos of so many people that have so many good ideas and that you know that they're on the right track to help out the communities, but yet they're the ones protesting because the crooked ones are in charge? Okay? It's sickening. And not only that, also, I'm going to show you another news clip of Abbott, okay, trying to do his part as far as getting rid of the illegal immigrants that are coming across the border and trying to get rid of the Venezuelan gangs. But there's a twist to this, and this is something that should be brought to light, okay, when I show it to you. It needs to be brought to light because the Democrat Party, if this doesn't prove that they're not fit for the job, number one, Kamala Harris could definitely not be the next president, in my opinion. Just with the one clip that I'm going to show you guys, so bear with me on this video, okay? And I'll point it out. But it goes to show that the Biden-Harris regime, they don't care about America enough in order to put their foot down and make the deals that they need to make, okay, with other countries in order to keep us safe, okay, and in order to keep others that are not even Americans safe, okay. And like I said before in one of my other videos a while ago, about 2 weeks ago, something like that, that I truly feel that Biden and Harris and the powers that be in Washington, they have a deal with Venezuela, okay. I truly believe that there is some backdoor deal that happened that hasn't come to light yet. And the reason why I say yet is because if anybody's been watching very closely, a lot of things are coming to light from the Democrat Party. A lot of people are getting in trouble. Okay? God is showing everybody the wickedness that's going on. I mean, if you watch the news lately, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever you want to call him, he's arrested. He's arrested in New York. The feds got him. They got him on a $50 million bond. Okay, I didn't want to do a story about that just yet. I'm going to wait another day before I do. But that man is surrounded by so much wickedness in Hollywood, especially with politicians. I would not be surprised, okay, if that man starts to sing, and in order for him to, to be let loose, and a lot more people are going to get into a lot of trouble. But I'm going to digress on that because I don't want to sound like I'm going down a rabbit hole just yet with that one. But we're going to stick to this story. I'm going to show you the next clip of that alderman in Chicago. But before I do, I just want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers here on YouTube and on Rumble. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. Also, I'm leaving a link to Loza Alexander's Give, Send, Go campaign. If anybody can help out and donate, or even as much as leaving words of encouragement or prayer, it's all greatly appreciated. Okay. Also, please, people, look at your subscription notifications. For some odd reason, overnight, it's like 6 people left the channel. I mean, one right after the other, and I don't know what's going on. And I'm getting emails again of people saying that they're not getting any notifications. And again, the video that I put out last night is not being pushed out, so I really don't know what's going on. I mean, I can take a wild guess, but I don't want to go down that route. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it as, you know what, maybe people are being unsubscribed, and or maybe they're leaving. If you're leaving the channel, fine, that's fine. But I've had people tell me that they've had to resubscribe and they have the notifications on, but they're not getting the notifications. So just go back and check, see what the deal is. If you've noticed that you've been unsubscribed, let me know. Okay, so like that I can just keep that as a record on my own behalf. But with all that being said, let's get to the next video so you guys can see what I'm talking about the Chicago alderman. Here we go.
The city of Chicago is facing a nearly $1 billion budget deficit for fiscal year 2025. And the mayor says everything is on the table to fill that hole, like raising property taxes, a hiring freeze, and cuts to city services. 9th Ward Alderman Anthony Beal joins me now. Alderman, thanks for tuning in this morning, checking in with us.
Okay, before I let him speak, just imagine that, people. They've spent so much money this year. They've taken so much money from the Chicago residents, the taxpayers, and now they're already predicting that in 2025 that there'll be $1 billion in debt. Instead of them just putting their foot down and saying, no more illegals, send them all back, why are we spending this money? They just won't. Listen to what this man here has to say.
Well, thanks for having me. Good morning.
Good morning to you. How did we get to this point?
Well, we knew that this cliff was coming years ago. We knew we had a pension deficit that was coming, and we knew that coming out of the pandemic, things were still slow. Coming out of the pandemic, downtown is still recovering, and so we've been looking at all these different things going on that really caused this hole. But we didn't do anything to prepare for it. We spent all the COVID money creating programs and creating additional jobs, and now that COVID money is running out. That's adding, more deficit to our revenue on a day-to-day basis. So we didn't do anything last year to raise property tax fees or fines or anything, and we just kind of punted last year, and that also added to this hole. And so it was a compound of really bad judgments that really got us here.
It sounds like you're almost...
Now, this is what I don't understand, okay? I understand that sometimes in like the big cities and communities, you have to raise some taxes in order to offset certain things. But if you have so much money put away, okay, if you would just utilize that money and do it the right way, you wouldn't have to do that. That's number one. Number two, the whole COVID fiasco when it came to giving all these blue states money, that was just one big money laundering scheme. Okay, because if so many cities and communities were closed down, why are you going to go and give money and then try to take that money, okay, and open up new programs when nobody was able to go outside and engage in like everyday life? Okay, I don't understand that. But also the reason why I came out and said about this man, that he should be mayor instead of Brendan Johnson, is because there's a couple of bills that were supposed to be passed and he did not sign it. He said no because he was actually looking to help out the people of Chicago. Okay, now I know some people will say, well, you're kind of contradicting yourself because he's saying he wants to raise taxes. Well, I don't think I'm contradicting myself. The way I see it, if he voted against them spending money frivolously, okay, especially on illegal migrants, something tells me that a guy like him, if enough people would have got in his ear on his side and say, you know what, you don't have to raise property taxes if you do this, 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 and this, and he probably most likely would have listened. Okay, that's just my opinion. Now I could be wrong. I have a lot of subscribers from Chicago. If I am wrong, leave it in the comments. Let me know exactly everything or as much as you can about this man. Okay, but let's continue.
Blaming yourself for this. Was it you? Was it the mayor's office? Who's to blame?
Well, it wasn't me because I voted against every budget the last 5 years. And so it was definitely the guidance of the administration that really pushes the agenda as far as our budgets are concerned. And so when you look at our budgets, it's the mayor's responsibilities to present us with budgets. And, I've been fighting tooth and nail about all these bad decisions that have been made. And it's just right now, it's not enough of us in the city council to, really right the wrongs that are going on. When you look at the fact that we spent $814,000 on a wrought iron fence during the pandemic, knowing that we have a deficit, why would you do something like that? Wow.
Unbelievable. $814,000 on a wrought iron fence. That reminds me, I don't know if anybody remembers Mayor Dinkins in New York. We're talking years ago. I was a kid. Okay, but one of the biggest scandals that got him in trouble was that he went and took taxpayer money and bought a $10,000, if I remember correctly, a $10,000 headboard for a bed. And that's when it came out that everybody was like, wait a minute, this is not your money to be spending. This is money that's supposed to go into the community, supposed to go back to the taxpayers for things that the communities need, that the city needs. And it's like I said in my video yesterday, why is it every single time that you put Democrats in charge, there's always some scandal and it always evolves around money? Money, money, money. And yet, they're the first ones that say that they're on the right side of history, that they care about the people in the communities, but all they do is line their pockets, spend everybody's money, okay, spend it on other people and other things, and then when the people complain, they want you to shut up, and yet they still want your vote. Let's continue.
We spent over $600 million on migrants when we have a deficit like this. Why didn't we have a hiring freeze or start furlough days back in March and April if you knew we had a deficit like this coming? And so there was no preparation. So it's just bad decisions going forward.
Thank you for clarifying that in your position on those issues. Okay, so we're in this problem. We got to do something. What would you do to plug the hole?
Well, again, we should have had massive a hiring freeze outside of police and fire, and I'm glad that the administration saw the error of their ways and reversed course on police and fire on the hiring freeze. We should have had a hiring freeze back in March and April. We should have been looking at possible furlough days like we did years ago to help plug this gap. But none of those things were done. We just kept spending, and now we have a hole, and we want to blame CPS on the $223 million hole that we have this year for not paying their pension payment. Wow. However, if we had not spent $600 million on the migrants, we wouldn't have a deficit this year going forward. And so we have created this disaster that we're in, and now we want to point fingers and blame everybody else for the bad decisions that this administration has been making.
Okay, I want to ask you about something you just mentioned there. You called the fact not to include police and fire in the hiring freeze a reversal of a decision from the Johnson administration. They're saying it wasn't a reversal, that was the plan all along. Did they get pushback and then they decided, oh, maybe we shouldn't include them in the hiring freeze?
Yeah, absolutely. All the documentation that we got, everything that went out, and it was a total hiring freeze across the entire city, including first responders. And so there was a lot of pushback, a lot of aldermen, the FOP was pushing back, the firefighters union was pushing back, aldermen were pushing back, saying that, we're already 2,000 officers short. Now you're going to freeze, hiring.
2,000 officers short, okay? But yet they're letting in tens of thousands of illegals and taking care of them, and knowing that a lot of them are gang members and or criminals. So you want to cut the police force, but you want to invite more criminals into the state of Illinois. Unbelievable.
You're going to not pay overtime, and we still are dealing with carjackings and smash and grabs and murders and all kind of CTA issues, and now you want to cut back? That was just a bad decision, and I'm glad they reversed course, but it was definitely a reversal.
And you know what's funny that he said about the way the crimes are still going on, but yet Biden, Kamala, the House press secretary, what's her name, Jean-Pierre, whatever, they're saying that crime across the nation is down. It's been the lowest in, what are they saying now, 30 years, 50 years? But yet, during the debate, when Kamala Harris brought that up, okay, and the crooked moderators tried to fact check Trump and make him look stupid, Trump came out and said, those stats are only down because the Department of Justice and the FBI are not including all the crime that's being committed in the blue states. So the crime is down in the red states, but the crime is high and is raising higher in the blue states. I'm glad this man pointed that out, that it's still going on, and Mayor Brandon Johnson wants, okay, or wanted to put a freeze on hiring police, and yet there's still 2,000 police officers short. Incredible.
Interesting. Okay, so I want to switch gears here. Several Chicago aldermen are calling for the mayor to fire one of his top aides after a 2021 podcast interview just resurfaced. Let's listen in, and then I want your reaction.
If I die, especially at the hands of pigs, don't name after me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want a piece of legislation named after me, a road, none of that. But I would be honored if that got more folks to abolition.
So, Alderman, that was allegedly the voice of Kennedy Bartley, Mayor Johnson's managing deputy of external relations. She was just given a promotion of sorts. Your reaction?
Well, first of all, it wasn't allegedly. That was her. And those are her views, and those are the agenda that her and her organization have been pushing here in the city of Chicago. And, I'm sorry that she wasn't thoroughly vetted, and she should not be on the payroll. And, I actually joined the course or the choir to have her removed immediately. She should not be on the government payroll. She should not be paid by taxpayer dollars. And if these are the type of people that the mayor wants to surround himself with, then, that explains exactly why the city is in turmoil and chaos that you see right now.
I'm so glad that he said this. I mean, in all honesty, I really am, because this is the same thing I said in my video yesterday about Eric Adams not wanting to fire people, surrounding himself, okay, with all kinds of shady characters, and yet his his top advisor, okay, wind up resigning over the weekend on Saturday because she said that he would not fire people that were bringing controversy, okay, into the administration. What the hell is wrong with these Democrat mayors that they surround themselves with criminals? And then when you have people in your own circle telling you, listen, this is not good for us, you need to, you need to fire people. You need to get rid of people. The answer is no. And then you go and you give her a raise. Okay? I mean, I don't understand it. It's just like the first assassination attempt to Trump back in July. One of the head honchos who dropped the ball didn't get fired, but wind up getting a raise, wind up getting a promotion. It's like, it's not even thinking, okay, in what bizarre world are these people living in? No, it's like, who in the hell do these people think they are, and why don't more Republicans and people in Congress fight back against this corruption? Okay, why is it that everybody's quiet when you have tens of thousands of people protesting about a war in the Middle East, okay, and they're okay to do so, but where are the tens of thousands of people in New York, in Chicago, California, Colorado, all out there en masse pushing back on these Democrat officials and the Rhino Republican officials? That's what they should be doing, okay? Especially like in California. People need to go out there and get engaged. I'm not saying to cause any violence, no. It is your constitutional right, okay, to air out your grievances. Get out there and get these people pushed out, okay? Once and for all, get rid of them.
We are in the middle of a dysfunctional administration. When you fire 4 people in IGA for no apparent reason, those were 4 African-American women that were doing a great job building relationships, but then you hire someone who's radical to be over them with those kind of views. I think we are definitely in troubled water right now, and we need to make sure that she gets fired immediately and be removed from city government.
Alderman.
Unbelievable. It's like they preach a good, they preach a good sermon when they say, oh, we want to bring the communities together, and this is all about the black community and the Hispanic community and this community and all that, but then you get rid of 4 people, okay, who are doing a good job trying to bring people together, and it's like, that's not exactly the agenda. Let's bring in these socialists, these Marxists, okay, these communists, these anti-American people. Those are the ones we want in power. Why? Because all they want is total destruction and chaos. That's what they want, okay? And it's just sickening that so many people are getting hurt and or killed over policies like this, okay, decision making like this, and yet they still find a way to keep a lot of their masses brainwashed to think that they're doing such a great job and to hate the other side, when it's the other side and some people on their side that are pointing out the corruption. Those are the bad ones. Okay, I mean, it's just totally sickening, but that's what I got on this for Chicago for now at the moment. Matter of fact, this came out like 5 days ago, okay? I'm gonna have to do some research and see what else has come up, but now I'm gonna show you the clip with the decisions that Greg Abbott in Texas has made with the illegals coming in and the gangs, the way he's actually deemed them a terrorist organization. So let's get to that, and I'm going to show you the last clip that I'm going to show you, okay? Just stick with me. Is something that's going to it's going to remind you people of a video that I put out, but it's also going to show that, you know what, this administration that's in power, in my opinion, everything that's being done, and I've been saying it for the longest, it's all by design. Okay, they don't want to fix the problems that are going on with all these illegal migrants and the criminal element that has come in with them. They don't want to fix it, but let's continue.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott is cracking down on a violent migrant gang known as Tren de Aragua, designating them as a foreign terrorist organization. This comes as that gang, which began in Venezuela, starts to take shape in cities across the country. News Nation's Jorge Ventura has the latest from San Antonio this morning. Jorge, what does this mean for law enforcement in Texas?
Yeah, so Marky, Governor Greg Abbott officially labeling that Venezuela gang Tren de Aragua as a foreign terrorist organization. And with that designation, Texas now has that legal authority to seize the gang's assets, but also intensify crackdowns using the state's courts. Now, the U.S. Treasury Department has already frozen Tren de Aragua assets here, but the State Department is also offering $12 million in rewards for information, leading to the capture of Tren de Aragua's top leaders. Now, Abbott's decision follows a series of gang-related crimes here in Texas, including a human smuggling operation in El Paso where 20...
Okay, I'm going to jump in real quick. They said that they're offering a $12 million basically reward to bring down their top leaders. You know, if that's not going to resonate in the criminal world for somebody wanting to get paid, I mean, I don't know what wouldn't. That's a lot of money for somebody to point the finger and get somebody arrested and bring down this gang. I'm just saying, in my opinion, that was a smart move. But let's continue.
Suspected gang members were arrested just last week. Authorities shut down a gateway hotel in El Paso, which was being used as a prostitution and human trafficking run by Trinidad gang members. They were also threatening Venezuelan women. This incident highlights the gang's growing footprint in Texas, and the crimes are tied to not only here, but also across the U.S. Trinidad is active in major cities across the U.S., including Miami, Chicago, Denver.
Look at this. They're in Denver, Colorado, Chicago, Aurora, Colorado, Dallas, Texas, El Paso, Texas, New York, Miami. Does anybody see a a pattern here? If you don't, let me explain. Chicago, Illinois, run by Democrats. Denver and Aurora, run by Democrats. Dallas and El Paso, run by Democrats. Miami has a big Democrat influence. New York, run by Democrats. Anybody see anything strange about this? And yet, once again, Trump tried to point this out, and Kamala Harris on the debate stage came out and said that the FBI says that crime is down nationwide. But yet you have this gang that has been infiltrating the country, okay, since Biden took office, okay, or I should say Biden stole the office. And look at how in a few years, what, 3 years? Look at how they have metastasized with their criminal element. Unbelievable.
Denver, New York, where they've been connected to extortion schemes and attacking law enforcement. In Denver, they've been involved in a network of robberies and assaults. The gang's nationwide expansion has law enforcement agencies increased concern. Texas has taken this significant steps, increasing the number of anti-gang centers from 1 to 9 and allocating $100 million over the next 2 years to boost these operations. These centers are working closely with federal agencies to identify gang members, many of them who are recognized by their tattoos or gang-affiliated clothing like Chicago Bulls jerseys. Governor Greg Abbott has also directed the Texas Department of Public Safety to now develop a strike team to just solely focus on Trinidad criminal operations here in the state of Texas, Marky.
Jorge Ventura, thanks so much. Thanks for...
Now, I mean, that's all fine and good. It sounds fantastic, and I pray to God that Abbott could do a good job. But now here's the thing, okay? Abbott could only do so much in Texas, okay? He could only do so much to secure the border and start arresting people and rounding people up. But right now, who we have in power and who wants to continue that power, Kamala Harris, that's where the problem is going to lay. Okay? And the reason why I say that is because, once again, Trump was right when he says that the people in the White House right now in Washington, they're weak. They don't know how to push back, okay, on the political officials in the other countries where these people are coming from. Okay? And some people say, oh, no, we're making deals with them, we're talking to them, this, and that, everything's working out fine. It's not. It's not working out like that, and I'll show you why in the next clip. Here we go. Now, this was put out by the Post yesterday, as a matter of fact, okay? If anybody remembers this dude's mug, okay, I did a video on him months ago, okay? At least 7 months ago, I believe. He came in, okay, and he was trying to tell, he had a big following on TikTok, and he was actually telling other migrants on how to squat in people's properties, that to use American squatter laws in order to take over people's properties, okay? And he was online, I mean, just bragging about the money that he was getting. His girlfriend wound up having a child here in America. I mean, he just had people all in an uproar, okay? But now the tables have turned, okay? He's been arrested. But you're gonna see, okay, with this clip right here, where I'm saying that the powers that be right now, regardless of how many people Greg Abbott arrests or Mayor Adams, it doesn't matter. They're not sending these people back. Okay? They may hold them in custody, and it'll cost the American taxpayer billions of dollars more, okay, in the prison system, but they're not going to send them back. But at the same time, there's some hope, and I'll let you know. Check this out. It says, migrant TikToker who encouraged others to squat in American homes is ordered deported. An immigration judge has ordered the removal of migrant influencer Leonel Moreno, who infamously mocked U.S. taxpayers. And yes, he did. This is where it gets tricky. However, Homeland Security sources told the Post that he's likely to remain in the U.S. since his native Venezuela refuses to accept deportations. And that right there, people, is where lies the freaking problem. Okay? And Trump was right again. That Biden and Harris are not pushing back on all these other countries to take back their criminal element. And they won't take them back. Okay? So basically, they took their fucking trash, sent it into our backyard, and we have to deal with the cleanup. Okay? Why? Because you have an administration that is beholden to whatever powers, okay, that are telling the Western world and their leftist leaders, take all these immigrants, regardless if they're rapists and murderers and just mentally ill individuals, you're going to take them. Because it's not only happening here in the U.S., it is happening in the Western world. As a matter of fact, as we speak, Germany, whatever deal they did, they are loading planes full of migrants and sending them back to their countries. Okay? And Poland, I believe, is doing the same thing. Whatever deals they did, at least they have the balls to say, you know what, no, you're going to take them back. And if you don't, you're going to see some people just coming, falling from the sky with parachutes, because we're dropping them off regardless. Why can't Biden and Harris do that? Because they don't want to. Okay? They don't want to. This is why Mayorkas and I forgot the other one, the one with the glasses, all of them need to be impeached. And they, when Trump came out and said, okay, when he becomes president, that he will be going after certain people, and the left is pushing back saying that's the sound of a dictator. No, that is the sound of an American president, okay, cleaning house. But let's continue. It says ICE officers arrested Moreno, 27, in Columbus, Ohio. Funny how Ohio's been in the news lately. On March 29th, according to Fox News, Bill Melugan, I believe. Moreno was enrolled in the Alternatives to Detention program with a tracking device after he was released into the U.S. after crossing the border illegally. Figures. This alternative to detention, in other words, it's like if you cross the border illegally, we're just going to give you a tracking device. That didn't work for that young girl, okay, that was raped and brutally murdered by those two dudes, because one of them had a tracking device. As a matter of fact, when he got home, the one roommate that was home, okay, I believe he was the one that called the cops, told them that he cut the tracking device off because he wanted to be able to skip town after killing that poor 14-year-old girl. So these tracking devices don't work for shit, because these people don't care. They commit crimes in their country and they'll do it here, especially when you have a political party in charge, okay, that does not throw the book at criminals. But it was listed as an absconder after failing to show up for a check-in with authorities. Of course, You know, the Republicans have been saying it for the longest. A lot of these illegals do not go to their court dates. Like 90%, 95% do not go to their court dates. Okay? And the Democrats know this. The rhinos know this. And they still let them in and let them run freely in America. Moreno, who boasted roughly 500,000 TikTok followers before his account was deleted, frequently bragged about his earnings from begging for cash, claiming he made roughly $1,000 a day. You know, I'm not trying to have a boo-hoo moment for myself, okay? But I tell you, you know, fighting the good fight, okay, comes with a lot of stress. Because here I am, you know, talking about that I lost 6 subscribers. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate every single person on my channel. I truly do. But I do this so I can get a bigger following and spread more awareness so that people could do better and we can help each other out more as Americans, as American patriots. Meanwhile, this scumbag, okay, gets 500,000 followers for committing crimes and breaking the law. I tell you, you know, the Bible was not lying when they said there's going to be a time where good is considered wrong and wrong is considered good. We are living in those times. Trust me, we are. In one video, Moreno could be seen holding a Social Security card while lying in bed with his baby. You know, people, I tell you, I mean, it doesn't surprise me because the Democrats have been pushing for illegals to get their driver's license and their Social Security numbers and for them to be given citizenship so like that they can start working, because this is what they want. They just want votes. They push Americans to the side, okay, and they want to give these people as much as they can. Why? Because they want to stay in power and they don't care who votes for them, criminals or not, okay? They just do not care. They just want the vote and they want the power. That's what it is. And that's about it at on the video, okay? So this is what's going on. That even though Greg Abbott is trying to do what he can, a lot of these people that they're going to arrest, they're going to end up in prison. And unless something is done, okay, unless America puts their foot down with the leaders to all these countries where they're coming from to take them back, we're going to have a problem. Now, I did say that there is some light at the end of the rainbow, okay? And that is, in my opinion, Donald Trump, okay? Because Donald Trump said when he gets elected, he is going to have one of the biggest mass deportation campaigns on day one. If all these guys, or a lot of them, are arrested, it'll make it a lot easier for Donald Trump to round them up, call up the leaders in their countries and say, this is what's going to happen. We are sending them back. And I guarantee you, whatever deal Donald Trump makes, they're going to do it. The left is going to push back hard on it, saying, oh, he did some backdoor deals, and he's crooked, and we're going to hear it. So be prepared, people, because that's exactly what's going to happen. They're not going to give a flying rat's ass of how many of their criminals are here committing crimes, killing, okay, hurting and killing Americans. They're going to be more upset that Donald Trump is sending their money makers away. Okay, because everybody knows, excuse me, in America, crime pays. And what I'm saying that is because there is massive money to be made in the prison system. Okay? And the powers that be, this is what they want. They want that revolving door always spinning, okay? Because that means money, 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 every single time, okay? Whereas Donald Trump says, no, we need to get rid of the bad element, okay? We need to incarcerate the ones that are American-born, that are committing crimes. We need to get rid of the ones that have come here illegally. We need law and order back in this country so people can start feeling safe again, and people can stop getting killed, and women and children can stop getting raped and or murdered. Okay? But it shows you the wickedness of the left, how they just don't care. That's what they want. It's a demonic agenda. That's basically what it is. Okay? And you'll have people suffering in Texas, Chicago, New York, okay, Colorado, California, Oregon, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, North Carolina, now parts in Miami. I mean, why? Because you have rhino Republicans and you have these blue left coats in charge. That's why. Okay, that's why. And some people say, don't push back too hard. What the hell you mean don't push back too hard? What do you mean? Okay? My closest friends have been victims to illegal immigration crime. Okay? Many people out there, Americans, have been victims. Even illegal immigrants themselves have been victims. And they're still victims. Okay? These people are still committing crimes. Even before the innocent ones could try to cross the border. They're being kidnapped, they're being raped, they're being sex trafficked. I mean, they're being made to smuggle drugs, all kinds of stuff. They don't even care about their own. You actually think they care about Americans? No. But now you have people in this country, born and raised in America, that are in cahoots with them. Why? Power. Money. That's why. It's an evil, wicked, demonic agenda. That's basically what it is. This is a battle between good and evil, people. A battle between good and evil. People need to start getting it through their heads. Okay? This woman that wants to be president, she can't even make a deal with one president in another country who's sending his criminals over into this country, never mind to sit in the Oval Office and try to make deals with leaders around the world. It's incredible. It truly is. But like I said, when Trump gets in, there's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of flights, okay, leaving America to other countries, and let the climate activists bitch and moan about it, because they are. Why are you spending all that money on gas? You're polluting the air. Oh well, too bad. You don't like it? You can get on the plane too. You can go with them. Try to clean up their country if you care so much about human life. That's the way I see it. Give them a one-way ticket. See how they like it. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. I'm also leaving a link to Loza Alexander's Gifts and Go campaign, and I'll be leaving a link to the first video of the gentleman that I said to go visit his channel. So remember, people, stay vigilant, keep praying for each other, keep praying for the women and the children, pray for this country, pray for your enemies, pray for Donald Trump, and don't forget to get out there and vote. Peace.